Following Ferrari's disappointing performance at the Canadian Grand Prix, team principal Frederic Vasseur finally spoke out, revealing where his team failed completely. This admission reflects not only a performance crisis but also increasingly intense internal tensions, especially after Lewis Hamilton voiced his disappointment and frustration. Is this the peak of Ferrari's crisis? Let's discuss it, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Ferrari came to the Gilles-Villeneuve circuit with high hopes. They brought the SF25 car, which, on paper, was well suited to the stop-and-go characteristics of Montreal, a layout that emphasizes traction and braking. These are aspects that have reportedly been significantly improved since the previous series. However, it was another chapter in a series of collective Ferrari failures this season. Rather than capitalizing on their potential advantages, both drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, found themselves mired in the middle of the field, grappling with ineffective strategies and battling traffic. The final result was disappointing. Leclerc finished fifth, while Hamilton could only achieve sixth place, far from the podium expectations. According to team principal Frederic Vasseur, however, the potential to compete at the front was actually there. Leclerc scored a purple sector in qualifying, an indication that the car could be relied on for speed in ideal conditions. However, all of that potential was lost due to a series of small mistakes, ranging from unsynchronized pit communication to late strategy decisions. These mistakes culminated in a strategic disaster that thwarted Ferrari's entire weekend plan. Ferrari's failure at the Canadian Grand Prix was evident as early as Friday. Charles Leclerc crashed during the FP1 session, which disrupted his rhythm and caused him to miss the entire FP2 session. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton performed more consistently, securing the fifth starting position. Leclerc had to settle for eighth place on the starting grid after experiencing aerodynamic problems due to being trapped in dirty air during qualifying. However, the real drama unfolded on race day. Leclerc insisted on a one-pit stop strategy with hard tires, a conservative but logical approach given the track conditions and the car's potential pace. However, the team changed the strategy to two pit stops during the race. The result? Leclerc lost a lot of time, his momentum was destroyed, and he was stuck in the middle of the pack, unable to do much. He was right that we wouldn't lose much time behind the pack, Frederic Vasseur admitted. But it was too optimistic to try to finish the race with just one stint on hard tires. We also probably missed important data from practice because the incident on Friday left us with no reference points. The tension increased when Hamilton hit a groundhog that had crossed the track midway through the race. The impact was significant. His car's performance dropped drastically, and his tire grip was fatally compromised. Frustration was mounting. After the race, Lewis Hamilton finally vented his emotions in a disappointed and angry tone. "I really don't understand what's going on with this team. Our car has incredible potential, but the way we executed it is honestly really disappointing. We lost momentum and direction. Most painfully, we missed a big opportunity. And this isn't the first time this has happened. I came to Ferrari with high hopes, with the dream of building something legendary. But how can we compete at the front if mistakes like this keep happening? There's something very wrong with this structure, and it has to change. Otherwise, it will all just end up as a dream dashed before it could be realized." Ferrari team principal Frederic Vasseur did not hide his frustration with the team's performance during the Canadian Grand Prix weekend. In a sharp and reflective statement, Vasseur said that his team had completely failed to execute the entire series of races, from practice sessions and qualifying to race day. He said that this failure was the main difference compared to teams like Mercedes, who were able to recover from a difficult period in the last three series. "We made too many collective mistakes, the crash in FP1, the wrong decisions in qualifying, and even the incident with the guinea pig during the race," Vasseur said in a disappointed tone. "It wasn't just an individual problem, it was a systemic problem. It all happened because we weren't prepared or disciplined enough." Vasseur emphasized that Ferrari needs to start learning from its rivals. He praised Mercedes for running a very neat and efficient weekend, despite having the second fastest car on the grid. They may not have brought a big upgrade package, but they were ready from Friday morning. They knew what they were looking for, and that made them superior in execution, he continued. Vasseur highlighted one crucial factor: tire choice. He admitted that Ferrari failed to read the track's dynamics and did not maximize the performance of the medium tires, a factor that proved key to George Russell and Max Verstappen securing the top two spots in qualifying. This weekend's performance is not just about the car's speed, but also how we manage the tires. It's about commitment from the start. Unfortunately, we failed to demonstrate that from day one, Vasseur concluded. He closed a weekend full of disappointments with a hard and meaningful reflection. Ferrari has great potential to compete at the front, but potential alone is not enough. Without consistent execution and discipline in every aspect, that potential will only be an illusion. We were able to be at the front in Monaco. We also showed promising pace at the start of qualifying in Canada. But in Formula One, momentary performance is not enough. If you want to start on the front row or win, every detail must be executed with total precision, no gaps. That's where we failed miserably in Canada, said Vasseur. This statement shows that Ferrari is still too dependent on perfect moments and lacks the structural and mental toughness needed to consistently perform at the highest level. It's a stern warning from the leader himself. Technical analysts point out that Ferrari actually has one of the most competitive packages on the grid this season. The SF25 has balanced weight distribution and a more aggressive rear suspension system than the SF24. However, according to former Formula One engineer Craig Scarborough, Ferrari's problem lies in the software, not the hardware, not the car's performance, but the execution of their strategy. Ferrari is always fast in simulations, but often loses its way on race day. This indicates a problem in the correlation of the data between prediction and reality, Scarborough explained in the F1 Tech Talk podcast. The relationship between Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari strategy team has also been called into question. Some British media outlets have even reported that Hamilton doubts the compatibility between his driving style and Ferrari's conservative approach to decision-making. A source from the paddock said, "Lewis feels that he brings a world champion mentality, but the team has not given him enough sharp weapons." This issue was reinforced by radio incidents throughout the race in which Hamilton questioned instructions from the pit wall several times. One of the most viral moments occurred when Hamilton, in a frustrated tone, asked, "Are you sure this is our best strategy?" This sentence was considered an example of the increasingly significant communication crisis. Ferrari does not have much time to fix the situation. The Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona is only 2 weeks away, and the pressure on the Maranello team is mounting. Some observers have said that the Spanish Grand Prix could be a turning point, either toward a revival or a deeper fall. Frederic Vasseur confirmed that Ferrari will bring light aerodynamic updates to Barcelona, but warned that there are no instant solutions if the foundation of the team's execution does not change. "We can bring a new wing, a new floor, or even a new engine. But if we don't change as a team, in our way of thinking, our discipline, our coordination, it will all be in vain," Vasseur said in his latest interview with Canal+. Vasseur's comments are a stark warning that Ferrari is far from stable. Amidst high expectations for their long-term project, including Hamilton's presence for the 2026 season, inconsistent performances could destroy the trust built thus far. More worrying is that it's not just the car, it's also the way the team executes strategy, communicates, and responds to race situations. Why does a team like Ferrari keep making the same strategic mistakes, despite their car's potential? Write your thoughts below.